You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters, let's talk about Caitlin Clark and DeWanna Bonner. Both of them have made comments about the upcoming WNBA season. And we all know, I mean, once they assembled this roster, the pressure was going to begin to build. It's already built, all right? You got conspiracy theory claims by the haters out there that the WNBA is trying to ramrod a WNBA title to the Indiana Fever. Of course, we know that's absurd, and any good franchise should recognize they got two opportunities here. Number one, they got what's going to be the biggest women's basketball player of all time on their team coming into her second year. The Indiana Fever is staring at a 12 or 15-year run of dominating not just women's basketball, but women's sports, right? And, all right, they know they've got an opportunity. We need to build a team. Now, is it in the WNBA's best interest if Caitlin Clark wins everything? Sure it is. But they're not going to force that either. Because if it ever came out, it would absolutely be the end of the league, and that's just not what's going on here. It's the Indiana Fever realizing they got an opportunity to dominate women's sports, and the other thing, they got an opportunity to be America's team of women's sports, and that's a big deal. All right, when you got guys like me talking about WNBA basketball, shit, you've done something. You pulled off a small miracle. Because I would have never dreamed that if you'd have told me back when I was covering Brittany Griner and the prison thing and all that, if you'd have told me, Rhodes, you're going to sit down last year and watch 40 WNBA games, I would have said there's a possibility you have a massive meth habit. But that's exactly what happened. Why? Caitlin Clark. So, Caitlin Clark has come out, made some comments about the pressure of the upcoming season with this roster and where they stand.
There's always expectations and, pressure to perform. And at the end of the day, like, we play basketball because we love it and we've done it all our life. And I think just reminding ourselves of that, we understand the spotlight. We understand, people expect this team to win, and that's exactly what we want to do for our fans and for this organization. But I think me personally, like, I wouldn't want it any other way. Like, we get to show up every single night and there's people cheering for us and you get to play the game you love. So if there is that pressure, you do feel that pressure, I think that's just something you embrace. Like, that's always what I've tried to remind myself over the course of my career is, you just rise to the occasion because you wouldn't want it any other way.
Okay, so she's telling you she's thriving off of this. All right, she's thriving off of this. She's been in some of the biggest college games, and she's about to embark on some of the biggest pro games she's ever going to have, right? And she's telling you, I'm looking forward to this. All right, I'm living and breathing off, which is what the great ones have always done, right? Jordan, Derek Jeter. I mean, I'm bringing up Jeter because, well, that was a World Series run by the Yankees during that time, unlike anything a lot of people had seen. Tom Brady is the other one that you hear. These are athletes considered all-time greats that have spoken in this same manner that we just heard Caitlin Clark speak. And that's a big damn deal. All right. Now, DeWanna Bonner, all right, she has come out. She's also made some comments about the pressure of the situation. With the fourth best odds heading into the season, the Fever are the storyline. Everyone's watching, everyone's expecting. But the big question, are they feeling the pressure? Well, when DeWanna Bonner was asked if the team was using pressure as a weapon, she came through with the most classic response. Quote, I don't know where the pressure comes from because we haven't proved anything yet, she said, smiling. I think people just, media kind of run with it. Honestly, kind of the pressure that's created, Bonner added, but they don't have the hunty kind of mentality. Why? Question mark. Because, yeah, the roster can look really good on paper, but it's going to be work that we put in, and we know that. So I don't really think that this team has pressure. And look, this team is under some pressure, all right? I mean, I don't think there's any doubt, but it's going to come by way of the media, and it's going to come by the way of all kinds of fan bases out there, because you got multiple fan bases inside one sport, all right? And there's very clear lines grown there, right? They were making hate videos as every player was getting brought on and signed and or traded for, you know, by the players in this league. The fans were putting out videos. Well, ESPN's going to get on that. If something happens and the Fever was to struggle at some point this season, it's going to become, at the time, the number one topic, maybe in sports. I kid you not. You have to be careful with super teams because you don't know how the chemistry is going to go. I will say this. All right, after watching them the other night without Caitlin Clark and watching them with Caitlin Clark and watching both games, I think Stephanie White has done a really good job to develop chemistry on this team already. All right, and that also tells you, look, if Caitlin Clark would have played that game against the Mystics the other night, that game wouldn't have been close. That'd have been a 20-point win, probably. Maybe more. It wouldn't have been close. And it was still, what, a 5, 6, 7-point win? I can't remember the exact final score, but with Sophie Cunningham running the point. And you get my point, right? Plus, you don't have your other starters. It's a preseason game. Everybody's not playing the same amount of minutes. All right? But you can tell this team has already got some chemistry. All right. Now, DeWanna Bonner's trying to downplay pressure. Pressure is going to be there. I mean, that's all there is to it. And it's because of the fan bases and the way the fan bases are split up. And it's going to be because of the media. The media would love nothing more than to figure out a way to finagle a way to elevate Asia Wilson and Angel Reese and to celebrate the downfall of Caitlin Clark during this season. So you can bet the mainstream media is going to be all over that all season. ESPN, some of those hosts that do WNBA content, they're going to be on their knees praying Caitlin Clark doesn't succeed, which is wild because if she succeeded, it would help them, especially if they were generally positive about her, but they can't see past their own hate. And that's a fact. They can't see what she's doing to women's sports because, well, she don't check the boxes that they want to see checked. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.